Do you like spending a lot of money on bikes? But really, what I want to talk about is essentially what is the starting price point that you can get into mountain biking and get a fully capable bike. What we're talking about today is a comparison between Alloy and Carbon, or a comparison between different models and tiers of bikes. So what we're doing is riding on Galbraith, taking 2 laps down the same trail and swapping bikes. So I'll be riding the NX Alloy Spire on the first lap, second lap swapping and riding the GX Carbon Spire, which obviously is carbon. The price point with sales, $3,500 for the Alloy, and I believe $5,900 for the Carbon. They're both on pretty decent discounts now though, so you're going to get a deal on both. But the question is, should you jump to a higher tier? What are you getting? Is it worth it? And all that goes into that, because I'm not sure if I have the same outlook as other people do with that, and I'm curious to see what everyone else thinks. So let's get into it. Oh, it's dusty. I forgot to put my glasses on. Let's hope they don't fall off. It's really dusty. Got my foot bounced off the pedal a little. It's in the wrong spot. I hate that. There we go. A little better. It's a little loose.
I went a little off trail for a minute.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to pinpoint what feels different.
Pedals definitely.
I can feel the
position.
points of the pedals, whereas mine feel like a little more flat. Handlebars, yeah, mine are higher.
Yeah.
I think too, you've got these tilted back.
Yeah, yours are
Feels
more
like my arms are more in. Yeah. And then stiffer. It feels stiffer.
Yeah,
Like your suspension is set up stiffer.
you have a bad clutch. You really are clutch. Yeah, they all do.
Okay, we swapped bikes back at this point, and I want to go on a bit of a comparison between the both of the bikes here, and a rundown of what I noticed and what I felt, and differences. But the first thing I want to start off with essentially is that these are both amazing bikes. They're very, very similar, like the geometry, the size, the shape. That stuff is almost exactly the same. Obviously the weight's different, but I love both these bikes. I love my Spire. Transition made and designed a great bike here, and both options will be great. There are going to be obviously some differences, but I just want to start off with that. I love both these bikes, and going back and forth was super fun to ride them both today. But what are the differences? Overall, I think in this size, the weight difference is about 3 pounds. I know my Spire is about 37.5 pounds. I believe John's is coming in around 34.5. So about 3 pounds different. You do have some component differences, which I think is really important to consider in terms of this is not just alloy versus carbon. So the carbon's going to make it lighter. It's going to dampen things, obviously. But you're also getting a bunch of component upgrades if you're buying the GX Carbon versus the NX Alloy. So the GX Carbon is coming with rock shocks, both for the fork and the shock. So it's a rock shocks deluxe, and then a rock shocks Zeb Ultimate fork. So the main difference you'll get between the Marzocchi Balmer Z1 air fork on the alloy version and the Zeb is that you're going to have more adjustability, so you can really dial that in. And it's similar for the shock in the back as well. More adjustability. You're going to be able to dial it in, get it more to the point where it's like perfect for your riding style, for your height and weight and everything that goes into just setting up the suspension. It's going to be similar on the brakes. So we have SRAM code Rs on the alloy and SRAM code RSC on the GX Carbon. So you're going to have more adjustability, and the adjustability in the brakes is going to come down to not just a lever adjustment, but lever adjustment and a bite adjustment there. So all in all, I think the important thing I really want to get across with this is that there is a big price difference, but it is a point where there's a bit of diminishing returns, where the alloy version is an entirely capable bike. It's a great bike. It's very suited to be able to essentially do whatever you can take it on, it can handle. But you're going to be able to get an even better experience on the carbon. Now, there's some people who have different reasons they're against carbon, and I'm not going to dive all the way into that. But essentially, you're going to get a lighter bike. You're going to have a lot more adjustability. You're going to be able to dial it in, and you're getting higher end components. The components are made by reputable brands on the NX Alloy, and they're great components. Like, this is a great bike anyways. But I would say if you're deciding between the two, obviously you're getting a better bike with the carbon. But the main thing I really want to drive home is you shouldn't feel like you can't do everything with the $3,500 bike. It's not as good a bike as the GX Carbon, but it can do everything that bike can do, if that makes sense. So that's the only thing I wanted to really drive home. That's what I think is important from this. Guys, I want to hear what you think as well. So if you have a comment, if you have an experience with carbon or with alloy, if you have an opinion on this, let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it, please subscribe, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. We'll catch you out on the trails. Cheers.